Hi, I'm Amanda Call, and today I wanted to share with you how I structure my day as a working artist. So I remember a few years ago at this point, I kept seeing this little infographic being passed around amongst my friends on social media. It was basically like a chart that showed how this professional artist broke down his day and his week to make time for both his day job and his personal art projects and whatever else he had going on in his life. And I remember looking over this and being like, okay, there's day job and there's go to the gym and there's, spend 4 hours in the evening working on personal art stuff and there's, time to sleep, obviously. But there were some things that were noticeably absent from that. Because I remember distinctly looking at it and being like, so I take it you never cook dinner. So when you're trying to balance your personal life and your professional life and your family obligations, there's a lot of balancing that goes on in there, and there's a lot of different things that you have to take into consideration when you structure your time or when you try to structure your time. So I figured I'd present a basic breakdown of how I go through my day, where I make time for family obligations, where I make time for keeping up my household, and how I make time to also work on my art. And believe me, this is not an Instagram influencer type day in the life of. There's a lot of real life stuff going on in this, and my day is certainly not perfect. I do try to make sure that I have a fairly rigid structure set out for myself. I find that if I don't break up my time and have clear distinctions of I should be doing this at this time and this at this time, that I end up just kind of listless and not getting anything done. That's not a good situation. However, this is just a starting template, so this is like the basic form of what I'm aiming for every day. It doesn't mean that's always what happens. You're gonna have days where you've got doctor's appointments, or your car needs to go to the shop, or the kids have soccer, or whatever else, and that's always gonna throw things off a little bit. But this is like the starting point that everything else deviates from. And this certainly isn't prescriptive. I'm not saying that everyone else should structure their day the way that I do, but you might find it useful. I personally find it interesting and sometimes useful to see how other people structure their day, because then it gives me an idea of things that I could try that might be more effective than what I might be doing or what I might have done in the past. I will also make a quick note that there are no photos or videos of the rest of my family, so in times where I'm talking about stuff that I'm doing with my family, times of the day that I'm spending with the kids or my husband or whatever else, then you're going to be treated to a graphic reimagining of what that would look like. Without further ado, here is a day in the life of a working artist. Yes, really. 5:30. It sucks, but I have to get up this early to get the kids ready for school. So the first hour or so of my day is spent getting the kids dressed and ready for school, packing their snacks and water bottles and whatever else they might need for the day, and of course, getting some coffee into me and staring at the wall for 15 minutes, summoning up the will to live. We're down at the bus stop by 6:30, and usually by about 6:45, everyone is headed out to school and work, and I'm on my own. The first thing I take care of back at the house are chicken chores. You might have seen me post about our little flock on social media. I feed them, change their water, and collect eggs every day, and most days they get to free range around the house as well.
Good morning, ladies.
Then I make myself some breakfast, often eggs because of the aforementioned chickens, and scroll around on Twitter or whatever while I eat. After breakfast, I take some time in the morning to get a few chores done. I find it a lot easier to actually settle in and do work if I've accomplished a little bit around the house first. Otherwise, knowing that I have a ton of housework waiting for me is very distracting. I don't try to do everything because there is no end to it. I just set a hard stop at 8:15 and do as much as I can before then. I squeeze in some kind of quick workout in the morning as well. Similar to the housework, if I get some of this physical energy out of my system early, then I have an easier time sitting down to work. After getting sweaty and gross, I of course have to get cleaned up and dressed. Some people may enjoy working in their pajamas all day, but that just makes me want to go back to sleep, so real clothes that is. 9 a.m. is finally studio time. Time to head out into the studio and get to work. From 9 a.m. to 11:30, I'm in the studio working on art. I do take frequent but very short breaks to stand up, stretch, move around a bit, refill my water, whatever. I find sitting absolutely still and just keeping my head down on my work is really challenging for reasons. But if I break things up into smaller tasks with micro breaks of 1 to 5 minutes, then I can stay on task and get a lot accomplished. Some of the micro breaks are used to do things like make phone calls or return emails as well. Oh, and I'm usually listening to a podcast, audiobook, or music while I work. "11:30 is lunchtime. Chickpea salad wrap today, in case you were wondering. It was very good." So I'm having just a fantastic time right now. Now, normally, what was supposed to happen was after I ate my lunch, at noon, I was going to go for a walk. That's what I usually like to do, is eat my lunch, then go for a little walk, especially since the rain had cleared off and it was nice out, and then be back at my drafting table at 12:30. But no sooner had I finished my lunch and I was like putting my shoes on to go outside, and I get a message from my kid's school that he got sick at school and I needed to come get him. So I basically just had to drop everything I was doing and drive like 20 minutes away, because we live in the country, so like school isn't like a 5-minute drive, it's like a 20-minute drive, and go pick up my child and bring him home and give him a bath and call the doctor's office and just like all of this stuff. The sick kid is on the couch watching like train videos. He's fine. He just needs to rest. He'll be okay. Rather than being back at my desk at 12:30 to continue working, it is now almost 2 o'clock, and I am just now sitting back down to work. This is like a textbook case of why is it so hard for parents to get anything done, especially parents that work from home, especially parents that have non-traditional work. So, okay, the school actually called my husband, and my husband was the one who contacted me and let me know that they had called him and what the situation was. And, like, theoretically, could my husband go and get him? Well, yeah, but my husband works farther away, and he's a school teacher, so him leaving means that then the school has to find someone to watch his classroom. So it just makes more sense for me to be the one to do it, because it's less of a logistical, like, issue. Which, of course, means now that I miss, like, nearly an hour and a half of my working time this afternoon. So now I have a little over an hour before I have to go and meet the bus for my other kid coming home from school. So this is the thing, is that, like, you know, I have a plan and I stick to it as much as possible, but the thing that always makes it so difficult, the reality of the situation is that often the plan does not survive the day, and I just have to try to roll with the punches. So I'm going to get as much done on this comic page as I can in the next hour before I have to go down and meet the bus, and yeah, just see what I can manage out of the rest of my day here. Oh yeah, and then I also had a meeting at 2:30 that I forgot about. So okay, I worked till 3 and got a little more done. At 3 p.m., I meet the school bus, take the kids home, and then the rest of the afternoon and early evening are family time. I help my kids with their homework, we tell each other about our day, go for walks or play outside, do a few more chores, preferably outside stuff like yard work or gardening. I usually make supper, we all eat, clean up, and then watch some TV together before the kids get ready for bed. Once the kids are in bed, it's time for the final work session of the day. This one doesn't happen every night, since I have some evening commitments like my weekly art stream, or meetings, tabletop playtest and development sessions, live plays, or popping in on friends' podcasts. This is basically like a bonus round work session, where I try to get a little more done, but don't stress too much if it's not a lot of progress. My husband hangs out in the studio with me during this time, so we're also chatting and listening to books or videos together. By about 10 p.m., we get ready for bed, and we'll spend some time reading before finally calling it a night. So that's my day. Hopefully this provided a realistic look at what it's like trying to balance family and artwork obligations, and hopefully it gave you some ideas for how you could also structure your own day to try to fit in all the stuff you have to do and stuff that you want to do. Let me know if this gave you any ideas or how you structure your day. Let me know down in the comments, how do you fit art into your routine? How do you fit in creative practice into your day? And if you liked this video and you like any of the content on my channel where I provide a little bit of a behind the scenes look at being a working artist or other videos that I make about making art, then be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, all of that good stuff. I definitely appreciate it. Thanks everybody, and I'll see you next time. Bye.